Hello everybody, welcome to the BFI Roundup video on my channel, and as you can see we've moved to a different room. This is the main Blu-ray room, and you'll see the camera panning. You'll probably see some Blu-rays behind me. You might be able to make them out. Now, as well as looking at the May releases for BFI, I just have to mention we're certainly advertising some interesting future releases on BFI at the moment, including Salam Bombay out on June 21st, along with Piccadilly, and then of course there's Ingmar Bergman's box set, Volume 1. Now that collection will feature 8 films by the great Swedish director from the early part of his career, and that's to be released on the 19th of July. Now, great news about Sidney Lumet's The Pawnbroker with Rod Steiger and Jean Renoir's The River. They're both slated for an August release on BFI. So now we get back to the more current releases on BFI for the month of May. Now first is Radio On. It was produced in the 70s and it's directed by Chris Petit. A haunting blend of edgy mystery story and existential road movie, crammed with eerie images of English landscape and weather. It follows a young DJ in London called David Beams. He's on the road to Bristol to investigate the mysterious death of his brother. Radio On offers a unique, compelling and even mythic vision of late 1970s England, stalled between failure of cultural and social change and the imminent upheavals of Thatcherism. Stunningly photographed in monochrome by Wim Wenders' actual assistant cameraman Martin Schaefer, Radio On is driven by a startling new wave soundtrack featuring David Bowie, Kraftwerk, Lena Lovitch, Ian Dury, Reckless Eric, Robert Fripp and Devo, and it reveals an early screen performance by Sting. Now there are great extras on this disc, and it's newly recorded video essay in which director Chris Petit revisits key scenes in Radio On. Cinematic windscreen, Jason Wood on Radio On, a 54-minute recorded interview with the creative director of film and culture at Manchester's Home. A little bit quiche but ice cold, Retrofuturism in Focus, another 52-minute audio-only conversation with BFI Video Publishing's Vic Pratt, Chris Petit, writer and director of Radio On, revisiting the film. Radio On Remix, 24 minutes long, a stunning digital video essay with radical disruption of the original soundtrack by Wire's Bruce Gilbert. Coping with Cupid, 18 minutes. That's a short film from BFI's archive. 3 blondes from another planet land on Earth in order to conduct research into romantic love. On the Road, pair of public information films, L for Logic and The Motorway File, looking at the dangers of motorway driving. There's an original trailer, and on the first pressing of the disc only, illustrated booklet featuring new writings by Jason Wood, Jane Giles and Vilb Albertine, and archival essays by Jeffrey Noel Smith, Ian Penman, Chris Petit, Sukhdev Dandu and Rudy Wurlitzer. Now I have to say the soundtrack to this is superb. It features a lot of great 70s tracks, and it's released by BFI on Monday the 17th of May. Now, Spike Lee's 1989 film Do the Right Thing was a force to be reckoned with in American cinema. It's a film I feel he never really bettered, but he did try again with Jungle Fever, released in 1991. Drawn together by Jungle Fever, a couple, Flipper, played by Wesley Snipes, an architect, and his secretary Angie, Annabella Sciorra, begin an affair, and they soon struggle to reconcile their emotions with the social expectations that foster division between the black and white communities. Set on the streets of New York in the early 1990s, an all-star drama, it's typically engaging and provocative examination of interracial relationships in the US certainly packs a punch. Featuring a stellar supporting cast, including Lee and Hollywood legend Anthony Quinn, and a multi-award-winning performance by Samuel L. Jackson as crack addict Gator, and a good performance as well from John Turturro. Jungle Fever is made available on Blu-ray for the very first time in the UK to coincide with its 30th anniversary. It's also got a soundtrack by Stevie Wonder to accompany the film, and here you can see there it is. But unfortunately it's not included in this set as my own personal copy, but it's available via Motown Records. Try Amazon if you want to get hold of it. The 30th anniversary edition extras are a lot, and they include a newly recorded audio commentary by the filmmaker and film historian Jim Hempel, the independent interview with Spike Lee, which is 74 minutes long as part of the BFI season Fight the Power, Do the Right Thing in Context. Spike Lee was interviewed on stage at the BFI South Bank by the politician David Lammy, so that's certainly worth watching. An archive featurette from 1991, 8 minute long, on the film with interviews from the stars. A BFI archival short film called Top Deck from 1962, that's 30 minutes long. The theatrical trailer, image gallery, and on the first pressing only, an illustrated booklet featuring new essays by Kaleem Abtav and Campbell, and an archival essay by the critic Armand White, and full film credits. Now, it's also out on BFI Blu-ray, and that's also on Monday the 17th of May. Now, it's worth mentioning the Play for Today box set's also out on the same date, the 17th of May, and this popular BBC television drama series was an excellent training ground for many famous British directors. Volume 2 is released on that day, and it features 6 plays purely filmed for television. Stocker's Copper, written by Tom Clarke and directed by Jack Gold from 1972. The Elephant's Graveyard, written by Peter McDougall and directed by John Mackenzie from 1976. Gotcha, Campion's Interview, written by Barry Keefe and Brian Clark and directed by Barry Davis from 1977. The Spongers, written by Jim Allen and directed by Roland Joffe from 1978. Victims of Apartheid, written by Tom Clarke and directed by Stuart Burge from 1978. And Just a Boy's Game, finally, written by Peter McDougall and directed by John Mackenzie from 1979. Now, it's certainly worth mentioning that some of those names, like John Mackenzie, for instance, directed The Long Good Friday. And of course, Roland Joffe directed The Killing Fields, and Jack Gold brought us The Naked Civil Servant with John Hurt. There's some excellent work there on film later. There's an informative 60-page book with new essays by Hugh Stoddard, David Archibald, Lisa Kerrigan, Becky Vick, Peter McDougall and Kaleem Abtav. Maeve is a little-known Irish film directed by Pat Murphy and John Davis. Now, they broke new ground with their experimental approach, which challenged many of the formal qualities of mainstream cinema at that time. Previously unavailable on Blu-ray, Maeve is a powerful take on the issues of feminism and nationalism. It's a film rich in debate and disruption, and an overlooked gem of 1980s independent cinema. It's set, of course, in Northern Ireland. Memories of a childhood shaped by the spectre of sectarianism come to the fore, as Maeve, played by Mary Jackson, returns as an adult to Belfast, still steeped in the politics of the Troubles. And as always, there's some great features on the disc. Being a Woman is a Nationality, a video essay on Maeve from 2021, that's 14 minutes long. Irish Cinema, Ourselves Alone, 51 minutes. Why have the most enduring celluloid images of Ireland been made by foreign filmmakers? That's a documentary by Donald Taylor Black. A limited edition booklet featuring a new discussion on the film between Pat Murphy, John Davis, Robert Smith, and there's a new essay by Emmy McFadden. So that's it. That's all the BFI May releases. I'll be back to look at BFI's June slate next month. In the meantime, keep watching all those movies, especially those British movies, and keep safe. Bye now.